Oh, there it goes.
Found it.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on at first. The mics weren't working.
Yay.
I don't know if there wasn't no mute button or anything. We're back in there now, Paul.
All right.
All right, welcome into another edition of Cash and Tickets. We will do in our conference breakdowns. Today's breakdown is the SEC. That's what Paul wanted to do next, so that's what we're doing. I hope he's got some dynamite information for us
Well,
today.
I couldn't get excited about the ACC, so
Understood. You don't want to do the group of five?
no. I really don't.
All right. All right, well, we'll get into the SEC like we're doing. We'll do like we did with the Big 12 or however many teams are in that conference. We're going to run down alphabetically the teams in the SEC, tell you where we lean on their over-under win totals for the season, and then you'll know what to do.
No.
Or bet against us. Either way, fade us if you want to.
We're going to do better this year.
Are we?
I think so.
Is that a promise or a hope?
Let's promise.
That's a promise. All right. Well, you were under 500 last year, so there's some do better in you.
Yeah, there's room to grow.
All right. You want to get started, or is there anything else you want to talk about before we dive right into the first team?
I don't know. SEC brings in Oklahoma and Texas this year. It's kind of like welcome to the party. Hope you don't leave early. You can come in and get real drunk early, and then you got to go home. That's kind of what's going to happen to them. So we're going to beat the shit out of them.
Well, I mean, Vanderbilt stuck around this long. You think Texas and Oklahoma just buy out?
Big old fat check they get at the end of the year. I get my ass whooped for that, too.
They just make sure it gets signed. That's
Yeah,
all. They make sure
that's-
it's signed and the funds are there.
I go all the way to the bottom where Vanderbilt is. It says Vanderbilt. Just write their check.
Yeah.
Yeah, winning.
Oh man! All right. Yep. Tennessee, Texas, and Oklahoma join the SEC this year. That pushes that. What we at? 16 teams
I think so.
in the SEC now. Yeah. All right. It should be a great year. So why don't we get it started? Of course, the first team up is the Alabama Crimson Tide. A little bit different in Tuscaloosa this year, Paul.
Yeah, Kalen DeBoer comes in, but it's still kind of a story as old as time. They got to run the ball there at Alabama, or he won't be there long.
You think so? I mean, he's just coming off of Michael Penix, the national championship
Now
game.
the guy can coach. Was he 67-3 at Sioux Falls, 9-3 at one full season at Fresno State, 25-3 at Washington.
It's not
Made
bad,
the
is it?
natty. I mean, the guy can coach. Now, whether he fits there, I don't know. We'll find out pretty quick. But Alabama total this isn't up to date, I don't guess, but it's kind of close. They've won 72% of their games all time.
That's a high percentage.
That's winning.
That'd
football.
get you in the Hall of Fame, won't it?
That's winning football over 120 years, which now would probably be about 128, I think. So just kind of tells you what he's walking into, and he's got when I say big shoes to fill, I don't think that does it justice.
No,
but,
it doesn't. No, you're coming in behind the greatest coach of all time, most likely.
Yeah, like I said, he comes in at 104-12 over 8.5 years of coaching. So they got the right guy, I believe. We'll just see if he fits there.
You know, I think Kalen DeBoer fits more than some of the other candidates that were thrown out there last year. I was a little. I guess I'm not surprised considering what happened to the Pac-12. You had to get out of there. Of course, Washington goes to the Big Ten, so. But it's Alabama, so I think you take that job over Washington for sure. I like Kalen DeBoer, and he's done a great job. He's done a good job with quarterbacks, and then he comes in with Jalen Milroe, although I'm not the biggest believer in Jalen Milroe. They did some decent work with him last year, but obviously great athlete. He can run the football, throws a decent deep ball, but everything in between is the accuracy is just not there. And I just don't. I think it's a little disingenuous to just assume that they're going to come in without a hiccup, right? New staff, everything there coming in Tuscaloosa is brand new.
9.5 win total for them. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's. I mean, I guess I'm judging this against that because that's what we're discussing. The over under here. Sure, can they win 10 games? Of course, it's what Alabama does every year. I just think there's going to be a little drop off. I don't completely trust Jalen Milroe. They lost a ton of talent, wide receiver and cornerback positions there.
Yeah.
They bring in some of the Washington O-line talent. I get that. And they got a dynamite running back there, and Jalen Milroe, of course, can run the football. I just think on this schedule that there's some chances for them to slip up. I mean, the 3-game stretch. Well, in a 5-game stretch there, they got Georgia, Tennessee, Missouri, LSU.
And South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean,
But they do have time. I mean, they go Western Kentucky, South Florida. They go to Madison in Wisconsin, which is winnable.
mhm.
That'll be the game where you kind of see how far he's gotten into his installment, I guess you'd
Yeah.
say. And then you get a week off and you go to Georgia. Georgia comes to you, so you get them at home.
Yeah, I really see. I think they lose to Georgia. I know they beat them last year. I think that was some bad coaching by Georgia in the SEC championship game. But I think Georgia comes in and beats Bama, and I think they struggle at Tennessee. Tennessee's going to be really good at home. Josh Heupel's been great in Knoxville. And then they got Missouri and LSU and Oklahoma, and of course the Iron Bowl. I just think if you're betting this over under, I see 3 losses. I got them at 9-3.
It's 9.5.
Yeah, so I go under here with
Yeah.
the Crimson Tide.
I don't see. I think they lose to LSU in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, so I'm not trying to what was the term for so long? Disrespect the Tide. There will be no disrespecting here. I think you have to assume there's going to be some kind of drop off with a brand new staff and getting everything installed.
It won't be. I mean, it'll be different. But I mean, Kane Womack comes in as defense coordinator. Good Lord.
I do like that hire.
Oh, he's a great coach. It's just going to take them time. They're still going to be Bama, but
Yeah, they're still going to be a tough out and a great team, sure.
but if he tries to go out there and start slinging it around, Paul Feinbaum's phone is going to be on
It's going to
fire.
be crazy, yeah. Legend and the rest of those guys are going to call in and just be angry. Or they're going to call in and say, just let Milroe run it some more. I don't understand what we're doing, Paul.
Yeah,
With a W.
run the ball, run the ball, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as the losses come when they're trying to throw for 400 a game, it's going to get crazy over there in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
All right, so where are you at? You thinking what?
I'm thinking under.
Yeah, under. Yeah, me too. I think under with the Crimson Tide. We'll move on to the next team, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Sam Pittman gets a reprieve, gets to hang around another year. I'm not so sure he makes it past this year, Paul.
Ooh, Bobby's back. That's the only thing they get excited about. Bobby's back. Petrino's back. That offense is going to be flying around.
Well,
I don't-
okay, I get it. The only thing I'm gonna say there is this. I'm trying to find Arkansas schedule. Hold on just a second.
You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I got it right there. Oklahoma State at Stillwater. It's probably a loss.
Yeah, so they'll get Pine Bluff. They'll get UAB most likely. It's going to be a toss up with Oklahoma State. I don't even think that's a toss up. They'll be dogs by nearly 10 points in that game most likely. Then they go to Auburn, A&M at home, Tennessee at home, LSU at home. I mean, that's a rough stretch for the Razorbacks. So here's my point with the Petrino hire. Yeah, can he dial up the offense? Sure. And they brought in Taylor Green from Boise State to lead that offense, and that's probably the guy he wanted. But look at his 2023, 3 for 1,700 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 9 picks. So I don't know really.
I don't remember him on the Heisman
Yeah,
watch.
I don't know if
year.
you're upgrading there over KJ Jefferson. And of course, they lost Rocket Sanders as well to South Carolina. I do trust Petrino. Again, that's not what my point is. When these losses start to pile up, that's when the noise over there in Fayetteville gets loud, and then Petrino becomes a distraction
Yeah.
because they're going to want to move to him
Well,
if the offense is doing well, and they want to get Pittman out, and then the culture there just
yeah, the problem I
hits
have
rock bottom.
with the whole thing is Pittman at his core is an offensive line coach,
Yeah.
which is nothing wrong with that, you know. But when you're the offensive line guru, and your offensive line is
It's not good.
it's last in the league and giving up sacks,
Yeah.
that doesn't vote well for you and you know, with your staff. I mean, that should be your strength.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with it. I mean, if he can't coach what he's good at, I don't think they have a chance. I mean, if Bobby Petrino, they're going to be calling to get him back in there, but they're probably already doing it.
That's my point. It only becomes a distraction. Again, I like the hire. I think Petrino's a incredible offensive mind, and he's proved it at Arkansas before. But he just being on that staff, and if they start losing, that's just going to be a distraction to me, and it's gonna ruin that locker room. And again, they bring in Taylor Green from Boise State, but he didn't do anything last year.
No, he's not. He's not. I mean,
and the recruiting hadn't been just top notch, and they didn't bring in that much top portal talent. So anyway, the number here at Arkansas is 4.5, Paul, and
I got 3.
I can barely find 3. Maybe 3 wins on the schedule.
I'm tell you what, that Louisiana Tech game at the end, they need to be careful of that one.
Well, that's the thing, because that comes late, and that locker room could be split up by that time.
It could be Bobby time by then, especially after Texas beats the shit out of them in Fayetteville.
When your SEC schedule goes Auburn, A&M, Tennessee, LSU, State, Ole Miss, and Texas all in a row,
it's not good.
That is brutal.
You got to play State. I mean, this is State late in the year. I mean, he may have something going on offense by then.
Between Arkansas and Florida, boy, they got no schedule help, did they?
No.
And both teams, that's what's funny, is both teams have a coach that's probably on the hot seat, and they get this schedule.
Yeah.
That's tough. Maybe the SEC's trying to tell them something.
Yeah, it's time to go, boys. Time to go.
So I'm with you. I'm under on the Arkansas Razorbacks. I just think it's going to go bad early, and then there's no recovering.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Razorbacks?
I think we wasted too much time. I know we got. No, I mean, I know there's Arkansas fans out there, and some of them listen to the show. But I'm telling you, you might want to cover one eye this year.
I mean, I'm literally looking at your wall across there, and there's a Woo Pig sticker on your wall over there.
Yeah, that's the first. That's the first sign. That's our first game day sign.
Our first fan sign that we ever got.
Yeah, Woo Piggy. Can't have nothing nice.
Cheers, everybody. Okay, all right. Let's go to year 2, the Hugh Freeze era.
Ooh,
in Auburn, Alabama.
I like some. He's done some good things in all season.
I'll start here.
Go ahead.
All right, year 2, Hugh Freeze obviously begins in Auburn, and there's some buzz there. Paul and I lived the Hugh Freeze era for 5 years? Mm-hmm. 5 years he spent over there coaching.
Still be there
in Oxford, and they've recruited fantastically. They got a freshman in Cam Coleman, wide receiver, who they think is going to be. A lot of people across the country think he may be the standout freshman wide receiver in the country this year. And they've got some other, and we've seen Hugh Freeze coach up wide receivers for sure. Some of the wide receivers that came through over in Oxford. I find it difficult to have to lean on young talent in this landscape of college football with the transfer portal, which they did not dive in deeply. They just trusted in their recruiting, which is great. It's one thing that Hugh Freeze does well. He can recruit well as long as he's not paying attention to stars, just recruit talent. They still have Peyton Thorne at quarterback that I'm not completely sold on. But when you look at their schedule early, A&M, Alabama A&M, California, New Mexico, Arkansas, before they hit a rough stretch there of Oklahoma, Georgia, and Missouri. But throughout their schedule, I can find 6 wins. And with this total sitting at 7.5, they only got to go 2-4 the rest of the way. And you know how the Hugh Freeze era goes, baby. He's going to upset somebody.
Yeah, he'll pick somebody off, and he'll get beat by somebody he shouldn't do.
For sure. I mean, I need him not to do that this year to hit this over. So I'm going to bank on those 6 wins that I'm looking at and hope he goes 2-4 in the other. And then I hit the over there. So I got Auburn. I got over on the Auburn Tigers. The line there is 7.5.
7.5. I got even money on that. So here's the thing I was thinking about when I was going through Auburn's schedule. You got Peyton Thorne on your roster, which by no means lights you up or makes you all warm and fuzzy. Mm-hmm. But here, being Hugh Freeze, why did he not take a stab at like a Grayson McCall or one of those guys from those smaller schools looking for a chance? I mean,
how about Caden Salter at Liberty? He didn't go anywhere. He stayed at Liberty.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, that doesn't make it. I don't know, something's off there, but they do go get DJ Durkin, who we're very familiar with on defense, who can coach defense. He's
Mm-hmm.
very good at defensive coach. He's an SEC coach. I mean, he's got all the pedigree, can get it done, and that will help Hugh when he wants to go for it on 4th and 26 from his own 2. But but it's the whole Hugh Freeze thing. It's. I mean, they're going to be really fast. They're going to run in the rounds and up and downs, and it's not going to be. It's going to be fun to watch. But if it's going to be when it's 3 and out, it's going to take about 10 seconds.
You're going to try to throw a trick play to your defensive tackle on
Yeah,
3rd and 4 and get him hurt.
Yeah. But one of the things I ran across here, did we ever talk about this Georgia Tech Auburn game back in the day, like the 30s, where the students went out there and greased the train track?
No, we have not.
I did.
But please tell me more.
No. All right. So, back in the 30s, the teams would take a train to each stadium or whatever. So Auburn's ROTC candidates greased a railroad track in front of the Auburn train depot so that when the train came in, it couldn't stop.
Oh, God.
This is a story. I mean, some of the oldest folks may be able to verify it.
Seems dangerous.
So the Georgia, no, it's not good. So the Georgia Tech team train ended up overshooting the train depot by 5 miles.
Holy shit.
They had to walk back. They had to walk back, ended up losing 45-0.
Oh, that's a tough walk. I put
Yeah.
it on them. Tired them out.
Now the fans, they have when they have a parade downtown, someone wear pajamas to honor the students who snuck out to do that. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good story.
Great story. Greasing the train tracks.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a no play for me here because I just don't know. I don't like Peyton Thorne. I don't think. I mean, I trust Hugh Freeze as an offensive play caller, but I don't understand why he didn't go get somebody that fits him. I don't think Peyton Thorne fits what he tries to do. I may be wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but we'll see.
Yeah, I literally, I wouldn't bet this either. If I'm leaning one way, I'm leaning over just because I see 6 games and I feel like because they'll just out talent the other teams.
Yeah.
Of course, then he's got to go get 2 of those other 6 to hit it, and he may not. I mean, again with Peyton Thorne, is he going to go out there and win you a game just because he did it? I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not. That's not something I'm going to look to bet just because, I mean, it's just too unstable for me.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand your thoughts there. All right, so our nest. Goodness gracious, I'm struggling with the English language today. Our next team up is, speaking of tough schedules, is the Florida Gators.
Yeah, that seat getting hot.
Just fire all around it, and Napier's just sitting there like, everything's fine. I don't understand.
Sitting there with
fine.
Graham Mertz in his quarterback room.
Another one, please.
Yeah, why are we not
What
going
did
out
we?
and getting
What have
somebody?
What have we seen from Graham Mertz that makes you think this is it?
No.
This is where he gets it done.
This schedule is brutal.
I mean, I've heard some people say it may be the hardest schedule that anybody's ever played in college football.
No.
It's tough. It's tough to find wins. They could be better. They could be better than last year and still have a worse record.
Well, they'll find out pretty quick what they got. They got to play Miami first, so.
Which I think is a loss.
I do too.
I love the quarterback at Miami. Now, if we were doing the ACC, I'm a big Cam Ward fan.
Yeah, that dude, he ain't scared. He ain't met an unopened receiver.
No, he'll find you for sure, and he's gonna chuck it. Ain't no doubt.
No, I don't have a lot of hope. I think it's Napier's last year, and I think it gets really, really complicated for some SEC schools who are very comfortable with their coaches. Because Florida brings a lot to the table when it comes to, offering more.
Yeah, I mean the start, okay, it's not all, but man, listen to this finish: at Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, at Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, at Florida State.
It's bad.
That gets tough, man.
No, I mean if Miami's worth anything, they'll win that.
Well, start out at 0-1, and then it's Samford, and then they get A&M.
It's fucking
I mean, it's just there's no breaks in this schedule. I mean, I don't trust Graham Mertz at all. Billy Napier, I'm sure he did a great job at where was it? The Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, in
He just
Louisiana. Yeah,
yeah, and he just kept waiting and waiting and waiting until he got his.
got it. Get it.
But man, it just they lost some talent on defense through transfer portal or graduation. I haven't heard anything about any big time wide receiver stepping up over there in Florida.
No, they got that true freshman DJ Lagway, but
Yeah, I mean he's a freshman.
Watch the spring game. The guy can't hit the ground. I mean, it's not good.
It's
It's not good.
So I just I can't find anything here.
No. I got a. I don't.
I mean the line's 4.5.
It's right.
And they may win.
No, it's
four.
right.
I think it's right. Yeah, 4 to 5 wins.
No, it's right. The 4.5's right. I don't.
I mean you can give them Samford.
It's juiced to the -150, so they're thinking they win 5.
I mean there's not another. I mean okay, their non-con is. I mean Samford is the only sure win I see. The rest of them are toss-ups or they're big. I mean, you say UCF, they get UCF at home, and an SEC team should beat Central Florida, but I don't know. I mean, Mississippi State, I'll give them Mississippi State.
Yep.
But that's in Starkville.
I don't know. I got a train track story about Florida. It's kind of fun.
Another train track story?
Well, it's not a train track. It's just kind of the same line.
All right. Hit me with it. It's
yeah.
better than talking about their win total because I can't get them 5 wins.
You want to talk about Graham Mertz some more? No, everybody knows about the fun and gun and all that stuff. But back in the 69 to 71 seasons, a guy named John Reeves, and it's going to be a little bit, but I'll get to where I'm going. Ole Miss fans like this. He was the passing record holder or whatever, or fixing to get it. And he needed a few more yards to get it. And they were playing Miami in 71. So the Florida defense goes out there and lays down and lets Miami score so he can get the ball back and get it.
Okay.
Well, he ends up breaking it. And he held the record forever, whatever. And they call that thing the Gator Flop, which I think is on YouTube. But John Reeves' daughter was married to Lane Kiffin. They're divorced now. But,
Okay.
but I thought it was interesting that the ties from the running, I mean, you can, it's all tied together.
Yeah.
So
you're
anyway.
telling me Lane to Florida. That's it. He's going to Florida.
Well, not if his ex-wife's there, he's not. That's what I'm trying to tell you. No, she's still over there. He's probably still writing that check every month.
Not going to Gainesville then.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
So
You heard it here first.
That's some little tidbits for you when you're trying to cat whether or not Lane goes to Florida.
Is the ex-wife there? All right, I got you. All right, you want to move on to somebody else?
I did a little bit of studying.
Well, we go from one team that a couple of teams that we're not sure that they can win games to one that doesn't lose games very much.
Where we at?
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh, I skipped them.
Over under set at 10.5. 10.5, that's a lot for a 12 game season, but the Bulldogs don't lose in the regular season, Paul.
Yeah, no, man. Nobody going to lose one game.
Maybe.
Nah, it's just talent on top of talent on top of talent. They open up at Clemson in Atlanta. Clemson ain't going to be able to do nothing with them.
I mean, so they get 3 tough road games. They're at Alabama, they're at Texas, and they're at Ole Miss. They get Tennessee at home, Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, Florida at home. Even though it's 10.5, you got to think there's going to be some regression back to the mean here. So you've got to bet that they go 11-1 if you take the over here. I would love to just say, yeah, I'm on the under. The Bulldogs are only going to go 10-2. But it's sure hard for me to do that. If I'm betting the Georgia Bulldogs, I'm taking the over until they prove me wrong.
Yeah,
You don't make a lot of money betting against Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, I really didn't cap this a whole bunch because it's Georgia. I mean, we can talk about them all day long. They're good. They're really good. They're going to be in the playoff. They're probably going to be in the final of the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Texas at Austin, and then the Ole Miss game in Oxford is going to be the Christmas for all Ole Miss fans. The whole state of Mississippi is going to be trying to get in that stadium.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What is it, 10.5?
10.5.
Yeah, you got to take over.
I mean, yeah, you still got to do it. You can talk all you want about tough games, road games. They don't lose in the regular season. So if you're gonna bet it, you got to. You're betting on 11-1. I mean, 12-0 is not off the table, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, they just did it last year.
Yeah, I don't see them. I mean, they're going to be favored in every game they play.
Every single game.
They may be a 3-point road favorite at Texas, but they'll probably be more than that at Ole Miss.
And probably more at Bama.
Yeah.
Even though they lost to Bama, I imagine they're going to be.
Ooh, they're going to be so feisty. Ooh.
Yeah, they're going to be out for a little revenge there.
Yeah.
Speaking of fun teams,
Okay.
somebody that's gotten it has been doing a great job is Mark Stoops at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wildcats over under set 6.5.
Brock Vandergriff.
That's the one note I got. It's what it all comes down to.
What do we know?
Do you
What's he
believe
gonna
it?
do?
You believe in Brock or you don't?
Hey,
I
wasn't-
do like his name. I'll give him that.
It wasn't good enough to start at Georgia, but who is, you know? Yeah, I don't know. The schedule lines up pretty good for them. 6.5, and they always play good defense.
And they've got a dude that's on the all preseason All-American team on defense already. So I mean, yeah, they're still going to be salty there. It's really this line comes down to can Brock Vandergriff get you to 7 wins?
Yeah, they got 10 returning starters on defense. Well, no, 10. 10 returning starters on defense, and they got their front 7 back. So that will help early in the year and let Brock Vandergriff get his feet under him. What is it, 7.5?
The 6.5.
Jesus.
I know I've got them right at 6 and 6 if I kind of go down the schedule. So you got to get one more to go over. So I think I slightly lean to the over here. I think Mark Stoops will coach them up in one game against somebody.
Fuck. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll give it 5, 6.
Murray State.
That means they got to beat South Carolina, Georgia, Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, or Tennessee.
You probably gave them the South Carolina game, didn't you?
I gave them one of them, the South Carolina or Florida game.
So I'd say they'd start 3-1.
They lose to Georgia, beat South Carolina 3-1. Go into Oxford.
Lose.
All right.
We get Vanderbilt at
3-2.
home. They'll beat the shit out of Vanderbilt.
4-2. Florida at Gainesville, we don't know what they got. But
I think between Florida and Auburn, they split. They go 1-1 there, right?
Yeah, that could be.
So that gives them 5.
That could be the game that gets Napier fired.
And then they're going to probably lose at Tennessee. They'll beat Murray State. That's 6. You got to get one more game somewhere. Do they get Louisville at home? Almost had them last year.
I'm not betting that. I'm not betting that either way. How do you? The games that you want at home, they don't get at home.
Mm-mm.
Like you don't want. It don't matter if you play Georgia at home.
Or Vanderbilt at home.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like why?
Yep. They go 2 Texas, 2 Tennessee, 2 Florida, and 2 Ole Miss. They get South Carolina, Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Auburn at home. Not the team you want to flip. If you could, you'd flip those home and away games.
I'm gonna go under.
Under 6.5. Paul's on the under. I'm going to take a little gamble here. Do some Mark Stoops. I'm going to take the over. I think they get to 7.
Okay. I'm with you. I don't know, but I know just the wear and tear of the SEC is only getting worse.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, well, and the thing is, if Brock Vandergriff is not what Kentucky thinks he's going to be, they may not win 5 games. So it all hinges on how good that quarterback's going to be.
What the hell are we going to do if Vanderbilt decides they want to play football?
It just makes it worse. And I mean, At least give us the one, and we don't even get them every year now because of
I
there's
mean,
no.
it's set up perfect now. So they've been sitting back. They've been getting all this money for
Hmm.
all these years. They're cash loaded.
Yeah, but they can't use that in NIL. That's just for the
Come
school.
on.
You, I mean,
Yes, you can. Oh
you
man.
know they got some people with money. They
Uh,
just don't
uh,
want. They just don't like
Man,
football.
Uncle Petey's hot wing stand been wanting to spend money for years on
Uncle Petey's hot
on
wing.
Vanderbilt football. I mean, he's probably got about $20,000 over there he wants to spend to get Vandy relevant.
Go tell them to talk to the Nashville Predators. Maybe they got some money to throw
Jeez
around
Louise.
to help out.
Yeah, anyways.
All right, one of the teams I couldn't wait till we got to because I know Paul's going to have some dynamite stuff on the coach here. But one of the teams I think the variance of this team is incredible. I mean, they could be a 6-win team, they could be a 10-win team, depending on how you think about them. The LSU Tigers, Paul, over under set 9.5.
Ugh. Man, I hate this coach.
To me, that number makes an easy bet. But let's just discuss the LSU
no.
Tigers and all.
Who the hell is Garrett Newsmeyer?
He's been there forever, but all the hype this year. It's like everybody that keeps talking about the LSU Tigers acting like Nussmeier's been a starter for the last 2 years. Like he's played in a handful of games, and he had a good bowl game. Since when did people ever think bowl games mattered? They only matter when they help their narrative.
I think they brought in the defensive coordinator that was at Notre Dame last year.
Mm-mm.
Is that wrong?
They stole the defensive coordinator from Missouri.
Oh.
Which is crazy. Why did the Missouri defensive coordinator leave a great team, which people think, to go to LSU? Money.
Let's see what that dollar bill sign is.
Had to be money.
Man, I hate to keep beating up on Brian Kelly, but he is not a.
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
I will never.
You may be the only person in the country thinks Brian Kelly's a bad coach, Paul.
Okay. I'm comfortable.
He said,
with
"I'm
that.
comfortable with that. I'm good with
I
it.
got
I'm
plenty
good
of
with
room
it."
on my train, but I'm telling you, once you start trying to get on my train,
I
might
want to
be
know
too
what.
late.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to know what big games he's won. What big games did he win at Notre Dame?
I don't know what he's done. He's under. I mean, he had the best offense. He had. I mean, the two. What was it? Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, and Jaden Daniels.
Jane Daniels.
You know, I get. Hey, look at my offense, but dude, you could have not even been in the offensive room. You could have went and tried to figure out that defense.
Yeah,
You're a head coach.
Nobody needed you on that side of the
No.
room.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. They played Southern Cal at Las Vegas. I had a loss.
I think they lose to Southern Cal.
Yeah, I do too. South Carolina in Columbia, loss.
Oh, here we go. This is going to be great. All right, let's just do this one. We both think they lose to USC.
Yeah.
They beat Nichols.
Yeah.
I think they beat South Carolina at
Loss.
South Carolina. They get UCLA at home. They'll beat UCLA.
Yeah.
UCLA is probably one of the worst teams in the country now.
Uh,
They'll beat South Alabama.
yeah. If they still had Kane Womack, I wouldn't give it to them. Go ahead.
They get Ole Miss at home.
At night. Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, loss.
They travel to Arkansas.
They'll beat Arkansas.
They'll beat Arkansas. They get A&M at home. No, they're at A&M.
Loss.
Loss. They get Bama at home.
Loss.
They go to Florida. Now this is the 10th game of the year. Which team has bought in more at this point?
Is Graham Mertz still the quarterback?
Graham Mertz versus Nussmeier.
Jesus. I hope they have that on like at the 11 o'clock.
Well, they're going to bury it on the 3 o'clock SEC network game.
They beat Florida.
I mean, that's a big game, though. People love that LSU Florida game, no matter how
That'll be
bad
fun.
they both suck.
It'll be aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
They both have nice uniforms.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a good, pretty game on the TV.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt at home,
Nah.
and then they get Oklahoma at home
Loss.
to close it.
1, 2,
That's a lot
3,
of losses in there,
4,
Paul.
5, 6. 6 losses.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, I heard a guy on a podcast for CBS Sports saying when the coaches poll or the AP poll came out, he would have had LSU at 8. I'm like, what are you? So they went and got no more talent on the defense. The same sucky talent that was there last year is still there.
Yeah.
Or do they think the talent's real? Apparently, people think the talent's really good and the coaching was bad. So they go out and get the Missouri defensive coordinator, which was he great or did he have a lot of great talent? They had like 3 or 4 dudes that are playing in the NFL now from that team last year from Missouri.
I'm just looking at
it's not enough change there. And then you lose Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, 2 first-round wide receivers on the offense. Now, their offensive line is probably one of the best in the country, but 9.5, over under 9.5, and talking about playoffs, not for me, dog.
they're not getting the
That's
9.
an under for me. That's just easy under.
Yeah, they're not getting the 9. I mean, and short of Jaden Daniels and the 2 wideouts coming back,
I mean, if you listen to Paul, he's got them losing
6 games,
1,
6 and 6.
2, 3, 4, 5, at least 6 games, 6-16. And you got some people predicting 10-2, which I don't understand. I don't get it.
I mean,
They're only voting. They're looking at the colors and the name on the chest.
I mean, Harold Perkins and Major Burns, both really good players on that defense, but I mean they
couldn't figure out where to play Perkins last year.
They were on the defense last year also.
Yeah. Perkins was a standout as a freshman. They moved him to a different position last year, and they couldn't figure out how to play him properly. He's too small to play up on the line. To play him there, people are just going to run right at him.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm beating up on Brian Kelly, but I don't think he's not a good football coach. I don't know why he's there.
Well, so when he was at Notre Dame, they would win all the regular season games, and then they never won a playoff game, and they never won whatever it was. Then it was BCS or it was the 14 playoff, whatever. They never did anything.
How the 17-year-old young man in his athletic prime could go to any college in the country, look at a TikTok from Brian Kelly, and go, "Ooh, I want to be a part of that."
That's what I want to be a piece of that. Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that dude dancing.
Isn't he cool?
Yeah.
Listen to that fake Southern accent. And then he went.
Jesus.
They were asking him about something overseas, and the son of a bitch went Scottish or Irish. I was like, "What are you? Stop with the accents."
Yeah, well, he don't know.
He's so stupid.
He thinks he's a football coach too. So
Well, just be a football coach.
yeah, well,
Just do that.
that's asking a lot. All right, I'm done with it.
You're done with that?
Move on to something good.
All right. Well, I don't think I can with this next team.
Oh God.
Because if we're in alphabetical order and
Let's just get through it.
all right, Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Oh.
Jeff Lebby era starts in Starkville.
I honestly don't have a lot on them. I don't
Who know? We don't know what's there
know what Blake Shapen brings to
other
them.
than Blake Shapen. We know that name.
I do think that this is like a year 0 for Levy. I don't think this should really count toward him, which it obviously will.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't, because he's got to pick up the pieces of some bad management from the higher ups at State over the last, in which they got put in a real bad situation.
With Leach passing away, yeah, it was tough.
They overreact, and Ole Miss is guilty of this shit in the past too. They overreact to the result of the Egg Bowl every year. They both, I mean, and it's not necessary. Like, there's other things going on. If you aim your sights higher than just beating one team a year,
Then you can get past all that crap.
be surprised what happened.
And Lane Kiffin's done that in Oxford.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, they got 6 ranked teams on the schedule. It's a tough schedule at Texas, at Georgia, at Tennessee, at Ole Miss, Missouri at home. Whew. A&M at home.
Not good.
But is Blake Shapen going to be any good? We know Jeff Lebby can dial up offense, and they do have a decent amount of returning starters on defense. They've always been really good on defense in Starkville.
I was on my notes here. It's got running a fast tempo with a quarterback who made plenty of turnover-worthy throws last year. Turnover
Thanks.
worthy, huh?
Well, that's the other thing the one thing that scares me is as good as that defense has been in Starkville, this offense doesn't lend to that.
Yeah.
But I'm
What's
going
the,
to take the over with the Mississippi State
no,
Bulldogs.
I've already bet the over. I did. I went ahead and bet it. I got the ticket in my room in there.
I think that defense going to hold them up long enough, and it all hinges on how good Blake Shapen is or isn't.
Yeah.
I think. So we'll find out.
No, that is one of my futures I did bet. I took over. I want to say it was 4.5.
Yeah, it is. I got it at 4.5, and so I think they can get 5 wins. I'll take Mississippi State Bulldogs over 4.5.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
Now here's a team that I flip flopped my pick in the last couple of days. Probably too much research to do this to you. The Missouri Tigers, Paul, coming off a big season last year with the super nerd Eli Drinkwitz.
He's a guy you just want to fight for. I mean, Luther Burden's back, Brady's Cook back. They lose their running back, but I think he'll be replaced pretty quickly. Had 25 rushing touchdowns last year to only giving up 8. Losing their defensive coordinator is going to hurt, but I don't know how much that offense is going to be able to keep you in games. I don't know, 9.5. Ooh, that's a lot.
See, that's where the number. I'm going under with the Missouri Tigers, and this is why. They went 4-0 in 1-score games last year, or like less than a touchdown. They led the country in turnover margin last year. That's probably going to regress back to the mean. They lost a ton of talent on that defensive side, including their D coordinator. Went to LSU to coach lesser talent. Like I don't trying to read the tea leaves here. What did that D coordinator see coming back for the Tigers that he didn't like? They're going to be really good on offense. I do like Brady Cook. Luther Burden's the best wide receiver in the country to me, especially in the SEC. So I think they'll be good to great. I just at this line at 9.5, I think they stumble more than twice. I'm going under 9.5.
To get to 9.5, they have to beat Arkansas, which is doable. They have to beat Auburn, which is we'll have to see.
They get Auburn at home.
They have to beat Boston College, which is I don't know how good they're going to be. I think they got what's his name from the NFL back, the Patriots guy.
They'll beat Boston College.
Bill
O'Brien.
Got to be Bill O'Brien. They got to beat State at State, which is doable. Got to beat South Carolina at South Carolina, which is going to be tough, and then Oklahoma at home. They have to run that.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. I don't think they get to 9.
I don't either.
8.5 is probably the right number.
I think they lose at A&M, at Bama.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think they beat South Carolina at South Carolina.
Oh, wow. I don't think South Carolina's going to be very good at all.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough game, tough place to play.
But I just think they drop one of Auburn or Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And that's the third because and they may drop another one if it gets well. They lost a defensive starter today, a guy that transferred in from Georgia, that they were expecting to play big minutes on the defense. So they've already had a bad injury loss that just came out this morning, I believe. Yeah. So we'll see with the Missouri Tigers. I like them. I like Drinkwitz. Like I said, I think they get 8 to 9 wins. But as far as this line is considered, 9.5. I'm not betting on a 10-2 Missouri after the talent that they lost and how good they were in 1-score games last year.
And there's not a worse fan base to be in a stadium with.
We know that firsthand, don't we?
They stole that. Yeah, man, they stole that from somebody.
Of course, wasn't it raining and like negative 800 degrees in the stadium that night, Paul?
All our friends left us.
Yeah, they did. Left us at halftime. One of them left us at the end of the first quarter.
I remember right. Somebody was dancing on a pole or something.
Yeah. He faded. He faded out early.
Got squirrely.
All right. Let's move on.
Good times had by all.
All right. Newcomer to the SEC.
Where we're at? We're done.
The Oklahoma Sooners.
I'm out of whack here. Here we go. Jackson Arnold replaces Dylan Gabriel, who bolts for Oregon. I don't know. Dylan Gabriel's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Arnold,
In that Oregon offense, yes.
Jackson Arnold, I don't know this kid is. Supposed to be the next big time recruit coming through. If he's got any salt, they'll be fine on offense, of course. I don't know. The problem is, it's kind of like with Pittman at Arkansas being the O-line coach, the damn defensive coordinator, the defensive guru.
Well, they're
Venables
really. Oh, have you not been listening to anybody?
No, I don't listen to people. That's why I'm never right, I guess.
Apparently, this defense is going to be one of the best defenses in the SEC.
Okay.
So, supposedly, they got it turned around last year. Of course, we didn't pay as much attention last year to Oklahoma as we will be this year. But supposedly, that defense is stacked. And, of course, Venables is the coach.
Well, if it is, then they go over 7.5 wins. What is their schedule?
Right.
What should have been?
And if Jackson Arnold is even close to the hype he's getting off of one bowl game, then yeah, they're gonna be really good. And because of that, I am going over the Sooners 7.5.
You like him, huh? All right, Temple.
They'll start 3-0.
1, 2, 3. Ooh, Tennessee. They got 4 home games to start the year.
And I think they'll go to Auburn and win.
You think they start 5-0? You think they drop Tennessee?
No, they'll lose to Tennessee at home.
That's 4.
To beat Texas last year, they won't beat them this year.
Okay, South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
5. Ole Miss.
loss.
Maine 6.
Win.
Missouri
I think they get Missouri.
7.
Lose to Bama. And then they beat the hell out of LSU.
So you got them at 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's close.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they get there.
I get it.
I mean,
It's a tough. Yeah, I'm right there. So it's.
They made they. I mean, so if Jackson Arnold's good, they still could be the LSU last year. I mean, you can't.
No, that defense is not that bad. They're way better on defense than LSU. Now their offense won't be nearly as good as LSU last year, because I think Arnold's 1 year away, but I think he's good enough. Now, here's your concern.
Well, I got a couple.
I think their O-line is brand new. Like all 5 starters.
I wish I had their.
So the problem is keeping Jackson Arnold upright.
I mean, it's going to be.
And if the defense does falter at all, you're right. It's under 7.5.
They're going to be in some games where it's 17-13 late in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to he's going to have to make a 3rd and 8,
Right.
3rd and 12 throw.
So the question is, will the O-line hold up, and can he make that throw?
That's right. I don't like the over. I don't. So I don't like it. I think one.
Well, that's fine. One of us will win. How good do
that math doesn't math? What do you mean one of us is going to win? We never win.
If they'll end up on 7.5, there'll be somewhere in there they said, no, that was we'll give them a half point for that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you have that.
Thought you said you were going under.
I am.
You changed your mind?
I didn't bet. I'm not going to bet it.
I'm not either. That's too close.
I mean,
that number's perfect. 7.5 is perfect.
Next show we do, I'll get all my tickets I've made, and I'll go through them. Okie dokie. Speaking of tickets.
Yep. I know you got a ticket on this team.
Yes, sir.
So we'll move to Oxford, Mississippi.
Right there in the Rebel hole.
Discuss the Ole Miss Rebels.
Okay. You want me to start?
Well, I mean, look. The Lane train continues to pour coal, right? Keep that fire hot, and the train's still just a trucking. Now, here's the thing. I keep hearing a lot of talk about the transfer portal and how much Lane's dove into it, and will the chemistry be right and all. Yeah, but he's been doing that for the last 4 years. They've had to go in the portal, but a couple of years ago they went in the portal and they got guys that were multiple year guys.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't just have this narrative that the chemistry may not be great because you got all this portal talent that you're counting on. Well, that's just you not looking. If you look at the offense for the Rebels, they return a ton of starting production on that offensive side. They return the entire offensive line. Did they go get help for the offensive line? Yeah, they did. A couple of those guys may start. They brought in from Washington a national championship team. All that does, even if those guys start, now the depth is that much better on the O-line, so you can withstand some injuries there. Obviously, you got Jackson Dart, Ulysses Bennett, you lose Judkins, but you got Trey Harris, Caden Priestcorn, Jordan Watkins. You add Juice Wells, of course, but that you're talking about
If they get Deion Smith on campus ever.
yeah. You talk about a couple of 2 or 3 guys on offense, and they added Daquan Wright from Virginia Tech, who is turning heads at tight end in camp. And then on defense, yeah, you get Walter Nolan and Princely. I'm not even going to try his last name from Florida. But
Hell, I spelled it right, and it still got a red underline under it.
but they returned Jared Ivey, J.J. Pegues, Kilo Stone, Suntarine Perkins, and then at linebacker position, T.J. Dotter. He changed his last name. The biggest turnover when you speak of the portal was the cornerback position. We went and got Trey Amos from Alabama to replace what was the dude from Charleston, Mississippi? DeAndre Prince went to the NFL. I think he got drafted, if I'm not mistaken.
He go there. He go to Ohio State.
No, Prince is in the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only one that went to Ohio State's Judkins.
Yeah, Quinshon Judkins leaving doesn't hurt Ole Miss as much as people want to believe. It was almost like you cutting fat, basically. I think he was a very talented player. Not so much on the sideline or in the locker room is what I'm getting out of it. Didn't want to play if he wasn't getting the ball, kind of thing. I don't know. So we're not hurt there. This is the best team. When I say team, I mean coaching staff down to the athletic trainers that Ole Miss has ever fielded on the football field. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be everything, but Kiffin has given the Ole Miss Rebel faithful a chance at something special. I try not to get my hopes up, but when you look at us, player to player across the country, we are at least top 10.
Yeah, and starters for sure.
And if Kiffin can just shut up.
When the big games
just
come.
Shut up. Don't say nothing.
Well, we don't play Alabama this year, so
if you're gonna say something smart ass, do it after the game. I mean, I know you got. I mean, it's the Twitter and all that good stuff. But I don't want to spend a whole lot of time because we can. We can talk about this till tomorrow if you wanted. But I've already got a ticket in on them to make the playoff, to win the SEC, to go over the win total, and to win the Natty. I think it lines up really, really good.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked about a couple of teams that have really tough schedules. This is not one of them.
No.
They got a break from the schedule gods here. Of course, I mean, you can say they don't do well at LSU at night. Okay, sure, but this isn't the LSU they've been playing lately, and this is a whole different Ole Miss team. And then their only other tough game, really and truly, is they get Georgia at home. Their road games are not bad at all, and the only tough road game they really, really have is at LSU, which is a team that you and I both think is not going to be very good.
Yep.
So LSU, Oklahoma, and Georgia are going to decide this season for Ole Miss. If they can go 2-1 in those games, they're in the playoffs. Easy.
Yeah. The one thing I'm not sure about is the way the two conferences line up. Is it the two best teams play for this?
Yeah, because they got rid of the divisions.
So there's a chance that we go 10-2 and lose to Georgia twice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fun. And maybe have to play them again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course.
All right.
I know. Yeah, so look, I'm with you, and then of course we're both big Rebel fans. Actually, went to the university for some time. But you can't deny what the talent is over there. And the narrative right now is Lane Kiffin hadn't been great in the big games, but you turn that around, he has never lost. He's outside of one game. He's never lost a game they were supposed to win. They lost at State that one year when it kind of went downhill at the end of the year. But he's never lost a game where you go into it and say, Ole Miss should win this game. They've won all those games. They've never had a Hugh Freeze moment where you go and lose to Memphis. They haven't had those times.
And they self-serve at home. He wins the home games.
They win at home.
So
You go and you get the season started. You win those first 6, and then you go on the road and beat the shit out of LSU. And now
we're rolling.
Now you're rolling.
Yeah. I don't want to burn the whole podcast up.
Yeah,
But
that's what they got to do.
Yeah. Just keep the train on the track.
That's right. Don't let nobody grease it up.
Nobody grease the track, baby. All right, here we go.
All right, one of the opponents for Ole Miss this year is South Carolina Gamecocks.
You know what?
What do you think about the fighting Shane Beamers?
I like Shane Beamer as a coach. I like the South Carolina team. I don't know what it is. It's always like 6:30. They're always playing at 6:30.
I know
on ESPN.
Yeah. It's, oh look, South Carolina's on.
I don't know. They bring in Lenore Sellers and Robbie Ashford, which, if you know who those guys are, they're very highly rated quarterbacks coming out of high school. Who, especially with Robbie Ashford, who just hadn't quite found his niche yet. He went and tried it with Hugh. That didn't work. So now he's at South Carolina with Shane Beamer. They lose Xavier Leggett. They lose Juice Wells. I don't know. They lost tight end Trey Knox. He's gone. Got to replace a lot of people. The win told us what, 5? 5, yeah, 5.
It's 5.5.
I mean, 5's doable. I mean, it's not. I mean, what, they go 8-5 last year?
No, not even close. I don't think they made a bowl game.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know. They're young.
But maybe they did. I can tell you real quick. Hold on. Let's.
No, I don't know.
2023 season.
Yeah, my number's 8-5 and 22.
They finished 5-7.
Yeah, I don't know if it gets any better for them. 5 though five's a good number. Where's their schedule at?
I'm looking at it.
Give me their schedule.
All right, so I'm down on the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay.
I do like Shane Beamer, but it's like he lives on this let's have good vibes too much. At some point, you got to have better coaching and better talent to get this thing done.
No.
We don't know who in the world Lenore Sellers is, and then if he is not good, we know what Robbie Ashford isn't. And that schedule is not good. It doesn't set up well for the South Carolina Gamecocks. To me, that defense has got some talent, but if your offense isn't scoring any points, that just wears you down as the season goes along. And I think this is a rough year for Shane Beamer, and I'm going under the 5.5 for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Can they beat A&M in Columbia? Can they beat Missouri in Columbia?
No.
So that gives them their 4-8. Pains me to say, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm out on the South Carolina Gamecocks this year. I mean, because there's not even that much to talk about other than if you talk about the quarterback, Lenore Sellers, a name we know, but he's never played. I think he started one game last year.
Neither one of their guys they got on their center has ever done anything. I don't know. Is he going to be on the hot seat?
Not at South Carolina. I don't know. It just depends on the money situation. What does it take to get rid of him?
I don't know.
If it's not very expensive, they probably move on. South Carolina wants to win. They're not a school that says, they know they can do better.
Okay. I'm with you under. I'd go under too.
With 2 back-to-back non-bowl seasons, I think there's going to be some talk.
Yeah.
All right. Sneaky little team here. Heard some talk recently. Tennessee Volunteers.
No, boy.
This number is set at 9.5, Paul. It's a big number for the Tennessee Volunteers. Are you a big believer in Nico?
I
think
know.
that's where this all hinges, right?
How do you know?
That's what I said. I don't understand it. I mean, this is how I started my. Stop me if you've heard this before. The Tennessee QB is going to be awesome.
Hey, that kid's lighting up.
Outside of Hendon Hooker, what have we seen?
He's lighting. Joe Milton's lighting the Patriots camp.
Please don't bring Joe Milton back to me. I can't with you. I can't. Just stop. Stop.
Me and you are both fans of player names throughout the college.
We should have done our all-player team.
The Tennessee they got 2 wideouts that make my list. It's Bruh McCoy, and Squirrel White.
Yeah, I think that's Brew McCoy is how they
Oh, it's
pronounce
bruh. I'm
it.
calling
We're
it
calling him
bruh.
bruh.
No, it's bruh.
That'll be my son's favorite player
Bruh.
if he ever finds that out. Bruh.
They bring in, they bring in Tulane transfer Chris Brazel. If you watched Tulane play last year, you know how talented this kid is.
Yeah, that kid can play.
So they got a lot. If good Lord,
If Nico. Let's just go with Nico.
I want to call him Lamaleva.
Well, hey, be my guest.
Is that not right?
I have no idea. It starts with an I, does it not?
Oh, is that an I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's I'm a lever.
Yeah.
I'm a lever.
I'm a leaver. I can't deal with it no more. I'm out of here.
Church. Shoes on. All right, so I'm a lever. Yeah, if he's got any kind of, I mean, they'll figure a way to get the ball down the field.
Oh, Hype will score, yeah, but I mean, we thought that last year too, and Joe Milton wasn't any good.
I disagree.
So I mean, but that defense, the D line in Knoxville, is going to make offensive lines cry. I mean that they're incredibly. James Pierce over there at Tennessee is probably the best D lineman in the country. So anytime another team lines up on offense against the Tennessee defense, it's going to be tough. You give that type of defense to a Josh Heupel team, he's going to be really, really good. But I don't know what Nico's going to be. We seen him play in one bowl game, and that was it. And like I said, if you know, the national pundits, if they believe in a guy, they'll go to a bowl game and say, look what he did. If they're not real sure, they'll say, it was a bowl game. He wasn't playing again. There was so many opt-outs on the other team. So I hate it when people bring up bowl games because they just use it to fit their narrative, and I don't agree with that. So I don't think you can say what he is or isn't because he had a great performance in the bowl game. So, I mean, but again, Josh Heupel is fantastic. That defense is good. Their schedule is not bad. They get NC State at home, or that may be it's a neutral site game. NC State's going to be tough. They go to Oklahoma and to Georgia and Bama at home, and this thing's set 9.5. I see 3 slip-ups here. I know there's a lot of hype with the Tennessee Volunteers, and I think they're probably going to be good. Nico will probably be better than Joe Milton. Blasphemy, Paul says. Talking about my boy.
I'm over it.
So I got 9-3 with the Tennessee Volunteers, so I have to go slightly under. I'm not betting this because I'm sure as soon as I say that, they'll come in at 10-2, 11-1, and be in the playoffs, and I'll have to hear it from all the Vol fans. But, yeah, 9-3 for me for Tennessee. I'm slightly under, Paul.
To get to 10. Oh, Lord. I don't know if they get to 10. I'm with you, under.
That's dynamite stuff. You got anything else other than trying to mispronounce the quarterback's name?
I gave you. I'm going to leave the Squirrel White and Bruh McCoy. What else you want out of me? Studied all night for this test.
Shit.
Tell me I'm failing?
I didn't say you're failing. I just, we need some more details in there. You get partial credit.
Move on to some team that's relevant.
They are. It's the Tennessee Volunteers. You're telling me Tennessee Volunteers aren't relevant?
Not unless it's an orange throwing contest or a
mustard tossing.
Mustard golf ball tossing. Anyways. 6-6 for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, my God. Okay.
Their only win is they beat LSU. I don't even know if they play them.
I'm trying to find a team that plays A&M so I can pull up their schedule. I got it. All right.
I got it right
so
here.
we're moving right along to the Texas A&M Aggies that are no longer headed up by Jimbo Fisher.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness for them. I wish he would have stayed forever. You know how easy it was to bet against A&M with Jimbo Fisher at the helm?
Yeah, him and Ed Orgeron are living their best life right now.
Oh, God. All the money they got. It's crazy.
Neither one of them seen a shirt in 6 months.
You know what
walking around.
You know what I'm going to tell my son when a guidance counselor comes to him when he's in 9th grade and they say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want him to say, I want to be a fired college football coach.
Ain't no doubt. All right, A&M, what we got? Let me look.
Mike Elko regime starts
Okay.
in College Station, Paul. We like Mike Elko at the Blue Devils.
I like Riley Leonard and Mike Elko. That's for sure.
Of course, he's coming back. He was with the Aggies some years back as the D coordinator, I believe.
Did Riley Leonard go to Notre Dame?
He did.
And they play each other the first game of the year?
They do. Elko, yeah.
What a talking point.
Uh-huh.
Okie dokie.
Mm-hmm.
Connor Wegman, who everybody thinks is the greatest quarterback since the next Manning, whoever, just name him. I guess he's been hurt, and he had Jimbo Fisher to worry about. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me look.
I love the Elko hire. Ton of talent on defense, and the guy can really coach them up. I do like Connor Wegman at quarterback. I think he was held back by Jimbo Fisher.
No, that's Bobby, man. Bobby was called dialing them plays up last year.
No. He was dialing up Jimbo's plays. That was the problem.
He was hamstrung.
Yeah. So, look, Mike Elko comes in. Great situation, kind of like he had Riley Leonard at Duke. He comes in. He's got Connor Wegman, and he's got a loaded defense, so he's going to have lots of fun coaching the defensive side of the ball up. And I think because of some injuries with the Fighting Irish, I think A&M starts out 1-0. And this season gets rolling. They're over/under setting 8-5. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I'm going over on the A&M Aggies 8-5, Paul.
Didn't they?
8.5. I'm going over. They get to 9 wins.
Didn't they bring in the offensive coordinator for Kansas State?
Yeah, Colin Klein.
Yeah, I like that hire.
Really, really good.
Coaching staff is undoubtedly better.
Mm-hmm. They're better top to bottom, and very talented.
I like Mike Elko better than I like the coach at Notre Dame. I don't know how much longer they're going to keep that guy there.
And he hasn't had good starts. It's taken him some time. What the hell is his name?
I don't know. He's a defensive back.
Marshall something Henderson. What the hell's his name? Well, this is bad. We don't know names of the one sport that we.
Well, we're not doing the independence. Yeah, they go over. But they have to beat
Marcus Freeman.
That's what I said.
I knew that. You got them over too, huh? We're both buying into the Texas A&M Aggies. Oh my God.
Well, I don't trust Marcus Freeman to be able to outcoach Mike Elko.
I don't either.
They're not going to lose to McNeese State. They're not going to lose to Florida. They're not going to lose to Bowling Green. They're not going to lose to Arkansas. They're going to beat
toss-up with Missouri.
Missouri at home. I'll give them that one. They'll beat State. They will beat LSU at home.
Mm-hmm.
Beat South Carolina.
Yep.
Texas is the only one I got that is a 50-50.
I know. I think this over-under is pretty easy.
Some bitches all be in the playoff. What's that?
I know. There's probably a good line out there.
Let me go find it. I mean, what we got? Vanderbilt. So we got time. I can go.
No,
look,
we
right?
got. Yeah, go ahead. Go. We got time. The next team we got coming up, I know we're going to be on the same page.
Who's that?
That's the Texas Longhorns, Paul. You thought I knew what he was going to say about LSU. Now we get to the Longhorns.
Okay. I guess.
Are you pulling up the odds over there or what?
I'm doing the best I can, boss.
You want me to just filibuster over here while you're doing that?
Well, I'm trying, but my thing won't log in.
All right, the Texas Longhorns, who lost to Washington in the college football playoffs last year, lost on a pass right there at the end. I thought Quinn Ewers and the Longhorns were going to pull that off, but they did not. I was glad they didn't. The over-under for the Longhorns this year, their introduction into the SEC, their over-under is set at 10.5, which I cannot I mean, thank you.
No,
I appreciate the odds makers.
I've already bet the under.
But there's no way in hell they go 11-1 this year.
A&M to make the playoff is plus 220, which is a little over 2-1. Yeah.
Oh. It's not what I was expecting. Yeah. That's a no.
I mean, you want
no. That's a no. I'm not no.
Not no, but hell no.
If it was 4 or 5,
okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
But I get it because that schedule is not daunting.
Okay.
Quinn Ewers and the Fighting Texas Longhorns, Paul.
Yeah, first quarter scoring last year, 120 to 50.
Mm-hmm.
They get out, they go early. They They put points on the board, but they were probably one of the more penalized teams in the country last year. 92 penalties for 731 yards is a lot.
That is a lot.
The opponents had 63 penalties of 485 yards, which says the referees feel the same way about Texas as we do.
And this will not be a penalty.
Yeah. Rushed for 108 yards a game last year. They will not do that in the SEC. I know. They opened up against Michigan. Luckily, Michigan is probably.
No, they don't open with Michigan. It's their second game of the year, but
Who they open with?
Colorado State.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, but they play Michigan at Ann Arbor, right?
Yes, sir.
That's gonna be a tough game. Michigan and Georgia on the schedule. You know, that 10. I've already betted. It's not getting to 10.
No, they're not winning 11. They got to win 11.
Yeah, they're not getting it. They're not getting there.
They're not going 11-1, and they lose a bunch of talent, and they've already lost their top 2 running backs on the season before the season even gets started.
Yeah, they did. Sure did.
So yeah, Quinn Ewers is fine. He's not what I would consider great, and he's never fully healthy. So there's a good chance we see some Arch Manning this year.
Yeah, that guy's lived his best life.
Arch?
He's just sitting over on the bench
I know,
collecting
right?
money. Yeah. So Texas to miss the playoff is plus 175.
That's not bad. Yeah, so I'm all out on the Longhorns. I mean, yeah, sure, they'll probably go 9-3 or 10-2, but they're not getting 11-1.
Yeah.
So this is one of my best bets over-unders in the SEC.
I'm pretty sure I got them at 10.5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got to go 11-1 if you bet the over.
That's right.
So I'm easy under.
Yeah, I'm already there. I might go get some more of that. They're not going to win that many games.
All right, last team in the SEC, Paul. Then I got to take a break. Or
okay.
we got to close this thing out.
Well, I just got right there, Shag. I don't have anything on them.
Vanderbilt. I got 2 words for you.
Clark Lee.
I got Diego Pavia. Do you not remember? New Mexico State.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia
Yeah.
transfers in to Vanderbilt. They will hit this over. It's 2.5. He's got a good tight end in Cole Spence. Pavia and Spence gets Vanderbilt 3 wins this year. Book it. It's my second favorite bet behind Texas. Over 2.5 for the Vanderbilt Commodores.
They got to get 3.
Yeah, 3.
They don't get no.
They beat Alcorn State, Georgia State, and Ball State. And they may beat Virginia Tech. No, they won't beat Virginia Tech to start the year, but
They're not going to beat Georgia State.
yes, they are.
No.
Yeah, they are.
All right. And that's how we end it. I mean, no.
Hey, we appreciate anybody that may have stuck with us, but if you watch us later, we hope you take a look at these and see what you think. Let us know, and let us know about any bets that you might make and where you are. But again, my 2 favorite bets in the SEC is the Texas under, the Vanderbilt over. Where you at, Paul?
I like the A&M over also.
A&M over, Texas under,
Ole Miss over.
LSU under for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we disagree on the Oklahoma. Tennessee sucks. To be clear, LSU sucks. Yeah, and I'm pulling for State to do well.
There you go. So stay tuned to the Twitter page and Facebook. We'll let you know when we bring you. We may. I don't know if we're going to give you 2 more conference previews. I'm going on vacation next week, so we may wrap up the Big Ten and the ACC all into one and just pick our favorite over-unders to discuss. May do one thing there, and then we'll be back before August 31st to start with our first Locks episode of the year with Cash and Tickets. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you next time.